All right, folks, welcome back into the MPGL Asian Championship for 2018. We are here with our group stage matchup of day number 1. It is Clutch Gamers versus PepeHands, game 2 of this 2-game series. And we're back into it, and I have a savior that has come in that is helping me through this 4-game night that we have going on. It is, of course, not Trent Pax, but Jenkins Dota. Jenkins, my dude, how are you, buddy?
I'm excellent. A little bit tired. It's a little late, but you called me a savior, so I'll take it. It's all worth it.
That's right. You really helped me out here.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch some SEA Dota. Zyari was he was telling me he had to cut off our little meeting that we had earlier. He was like, "Oh, I gotta cast some SEA Dota tonight." And I was so jealous.
Well, he lied. He said I gotta cast some Dota, and then he dished it on me. So I was like,
he did.
Great.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny that.
Man,
this is how it ended.
I gotta wonder if Trimpack ditched me too. That's an issue for another day, but yeah.
Maybe they're probably off like partying somewhere.
Yeah, I bet they are. We've had a couple of interesting days here at the Moonduck House. Let me tell you. You know, Carlo's been gone. But
I've seen.
You saw the tweet about the mouse.
I've seen the tweets.
Yeah.
Oh God, it's so funny.
Yeah, that mouse is definitely dead, and I feel sad about it. But that was his fault for walking up the Midas Mode decorations, falling down, and breaking his leg. So, not my problem.
That's how she goes, man. Nature. It's all about, the survival of the fittest. That's how it is.
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I'm so sorry that happened to you.
Yeah, but it was a little sad. I'm glad it finished. That because once the mouse was out of the house, we felt really good. I mean, we had a good laugh about what actually happened in that situation. But it's always scary when you have an invader in your house. You don't know what to do. Also, I'm a big pussy, so I don't want to kill rats or anything. So I'm pretty sad.
Oh man, I would so much rather a mouse than cockroaches or something. It can get so much worse.
You think? I mean, cockroaches are. I don't have any issue killing cockroaches, right?
That is true. I definitely couldn't kill a mouse. I definitely have issues killing cockroaches. They're okay. I'm not gonna say they're exactly as smart as dogs, but they can do a lot of dog-like things. Like they're social animals, and they you can actually teach them to salivate. You can teach them to do tricks and stuff like that. Cockroaches live for a few years, man. They're pretty smart. It's kind of messed up.
Yeah, it's messed up that they're as gross as they are, and we consider them as gross as we do. It's unfortunate. They definitely get a bad rap. There are certain insects out there that people can deal with, even spiders to a certain extent. People are like, I don't know if I want to kill a spider, but cockroaches are something that I think everybody doesn't really like dealing with, but I don't know. Speaking of cockroaches, Nyx Assassin has been picked up by Clutch Gamers.
Oh, that's a good segue.
Thank you. I really tried hard on that segue. Thanks.
I had a couple that I was gonna move into the draft, but the conversation was too funny with the mouse stuff. I could hear the sincerity in your voice of just the traumatic experience I had.
I mean, yeah, it was an ordeal, man. It was a definite ordeal. We're gonna keep talking about this because this is important to me. We really had some trouble with it yesterday. Honestly, we kind of resigned. It's like we both went upstairs, Andrew and I. We went into our separate rooms, and we're just like, we'll just let the mouse live here for a little while, I guess. But I kept staring at it for
Andrew, right?
I stared at it for 2 hours, and then I walked away, and eventually I heard it fall, and then it started. I don't even want to say this. It was whining, so Andrew came down and he took care of it. Anyway, that's enough. I don't want to talk too much about mice. We got other heroes that be picked.
Brutal.
Yeah, it was pretty brutal.
Yeah, these are pretty interesting heroes. How do you feel about these heroes? And I mean, it's weird because there's obviously been a couple of tournaments, a tournament since the last patch, a couple of series where you see the meta changing, but
yeah.
I don't know. I feel like the meta's at a really weird spot where there's just heroes that you see no other team really touching. It's just it's so diverse. It's so weirdly diverse right now. Nyx Assassin first pick. I don't know. You don't see that in NA at least. That's not an NA thing. Nobody's picking Nyx Assassin. Although it's definitely a good hero with the Meteor Hammer combo.
Well,
sort of stuff.
I think the thing is that we're right after. I don't want to say right after a patch. It's still pretty early for this particular meta. With the changing and roaming and the changing and bounty runes. So I think a lot of teams
Yeah,
are still
yeah.
experimenting and thinking, okay, what works well for us, which is why we see such. And usually there's diversity between regions anyway. I mean, that's just kind of how it works. But there are
Yeah.
still a lot of really commonly picked heroes. I think Naga, Jakiro are both up there. Disruptor's not that bad in terms of being picked commonly. I've seen a lot of Omni Knight recently. Gyro Io is still really strong. But there are definitely some picks that are kind of out there. Maybe even this Doom pick and this Lone Druid pick were a little bit interesting.
I guess that's the thing is that like the meta change, so it's this dual offlane sort of thing. Like with a lot of these other bi-weekly patches, not much actually changed, but with the most recent one, like it feels like a pretty huge change. At least maybe I'm biased because I play offlane in pubs, you know.
Right.
You said the Doom is a little bit weird. That actually feels like a really good hero right now in the offlane because you can do a dual lane with it. If you go for the Infernal Blade, you just kind of smack people level 1. People even skip Devour altogether and they just go for in the early levels, and they just go for the Max Infernal Blade.
Yes.
And they run at people, and it's really good. Lone Druid, I don't see that at all getting picked up in pubs and in NA games, just not at all. Slark is definitely a hero that's getting picked up a lot.
Yeah.
Though. That's a hero who's definitely coming back into the meta.
We've seen Resolution play it a few times at MDL. I think he's pretty pop. He's in a really good spot now. I think this hero a couple months ago was considered garbage tier. I think now he actually feels kind of strong.
Yeah, I think it's for like a few reasons. So obviously his laning was made a lot stronger by the fact that he has a lot more base regen. So he's just able to sit in lane. He basically has like a little bit of extra, mango or whatever. Which is pretty cool because Sark has always really struggled with laning, and then his stat steal is a lot better now that stats give so many things. You've got like the magic resist from strength. You have the spell amplification. Strength heroes have a lot more HP that they get from strength, and Slark he steals that. So Slark, even though that ability actually did not get touched itself, it kind of did, just because the stats have been changed. That the stats are a lot better. Slark steals them, so he's actually really good for that reason. And then obviously the change to his ulti, where you're just running like at ultra hasted speeds, is just pretty insane. But it's a lot of things.
That's a really good point too, and it's one of the things I love about Dota is that one thing can change pretty drastically, and it might not affect something directly, but it changes some other things that you wouldn't expect. And, certain heroes being picked, for example. Io being in the meta gets other heroes back in the meta, and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of cool interactions in that regard. And I think you're absolutely right. Slark also builds treads, which helps out a lot in terms of getting extra stats.
Oh, that too. Yeah, that too.
I mean, he's one of the. It feels like, I don't want to say he's one of the few, but there's a lot of phase drum builders out there. Slark is not one of those. He definitely is.
I'm seeing a lot more people pick up just treads on these like random heroes that you maybe wouldn't expect. Like Brewmaster treads is very common. Even Night Stalker treads, like these heroes that typically would go for phase boots or some other sort of boots, maybe even mana boots on Brewmaster or brown boots. People are just going treads because stats are a lot better, and you can just switch between all of them with the treads. So you can just kind of pick and choose. So if you're a strength hero and you get a bottle, which gives you a lot more regen now, by the way.
Yep.
You get a bottle or something like that. Use a wand, which has more charges, by the way. You can switch to Agi treads, use your, get some HP, and then switch to strength treads. And you have way more HP now. So, like, there's a lot of reasons. And then also treads. I mean, treads has just been getting buffed and buffed and buffed and buffed. So, I mean, yeah, treads is just really good. And then Slark, obviously, like you said, one of those natural. It kind of, it feels like it kind of all fell into place for Slark. Just all of a sudden, it's like, oh yeah, he's really good. Just all of a sudden, he was trash, and now he's really good. And that's just because of all these changes.
And that seems to happen throughout patches. Like, these heroes that are garbage, and then all of a sudden you're just like, wait, this hero actually might be decent now. It kind of comes out of nowhere, but that seems to be how most of these carry heroes become good in Dota games. But, well, we'll see how well this Slark does here for Clutch Gamers. I wouldn't be surprised if they had a really good game, considering they have a Brewmaster, they now have a DK, they have decent push because of the DK. They didn't really have much of it other than the DK and Brewmaster. On the other side, you have a Lone Druid Jakiro. It's a very interesting draft for PepeHands, in my opinion. I don't know. I guess there are still a lot of commonly picked heroes on that team, but I'm curious as to what they're going to pick.
I like both drafts so far. I think they're pretty well-rounded. Like, on the side of Clutch Gamers, you have Slark, who's that kind of, like, ultra late game, he'll kill everybody hero. You always want to have one of those. Dragon Knight, he's kind of a semi-carry. He'll do that, maybe, if he gets enough farm, but he's definitely not going to be a slouch in the late game. But he hits towers, and he's tanky. And then you have Brew, who's going to cause, like, the chaos in the team fights. And Tinker definitely... Okay, well, I mean, that kind of changes things, because Tinker doesn't kind of, fight a traditional sort of team fight. So running at towers and kind of playing that sort of style might not actually work that well against a Tinker. So
well, let me ask you the question though.
It's a good pick here too, I think.
Do you think Tinker is good against a Slark, and a Disruptor jumping on you and a Brewmaster jumping on you, or do you think the Tinker should be fine?
I think Tinker's pretty okay here. There's not much to pressure the Tinker in the early game, and that means the Tinker's going to get online with those Boots of Travel pretty quickly. I think Nyx Assassin is a pretty decent counter to the Tinker, but really he counters the Tinker the hardest when Tinker is pressured a lot in the early game. Like you can walk up, you can Carapace while he's farming those nice farming triangles like by the shrines and stuff like that, and you can kill him there. But if he gets online quick enough, Nyx doesn't really do anything to Tinker. You just kind of stun him in the trees, and he's like, "Ouch, I'm stunned," and then he just TPs away. So I think given the fact that Clutch Gamers doesn't have much to pressure in the early game, I think this is actually a really good Tinker game, despite it looking like there's actually decent heroes against it.
Yeah. I am still worried about if this Slark gets a Shadow Blade early enough and he just starts roaming. Like, if the Tinker doesn't get an early Blink Dagger and the Slark gets a Shadow Blade, he just runs at him and he kills him 5 times in a row, and then the Tinker's game is awful.
The Nyx plus Slark combo will, destroy Tinker.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it really just depends on the timings. But I do feel like a Tinker in a game like this could have a pretty decent timing, especially he's playing against a DK. Nyx isn't that great of a roamer until he's level 6, and by the time he's level 6, Tinker's gonna be close to the travels.
Yeah.
I feel like as a Tinker player, I'd be pretty happy in this sort of game.
Well, I mean, we'll see. I also like the fact that they have a Tinker with a Lone Druid. If they can delay the game long enough, this Lone Druid will probably take over the game. I'm curious to see what build he goes for. What has been the build that Lone Druid players go for nowadays? Is it the build, the bear build, or is it the range build?
I've actually seen people do kind of like a hybrid build with this hero, where they go for the phase boots on the hero, and then they go for like a Mask of Madness on the hero, and then they don't go for the attack range build, but they transition it. They put the phase boots onto the bear, they put the Mask of Madness onto the bear, and they get a Radiance.
I see.
So I've actually seen people do like a mixture, and I think that's what makes this hero. That's the only thing that I can kind of see in the past couple of months of people playing this hero, where he's. I mean, there's been buffs, but it's like they're not super significant, really.
Right.
But I've always kind of thought that. I've always felt like, okay, if you do like a hybrid build, I feel like this hero could be really, really good. As long as it's just there's so many items you can go on him. That's like it took a while to figure it out, but I think it's pretty good.
I guess it depends on how good of a start he gets, especially if he can get this first blood into Boombox. Dual Breath doing a lot of damage.
Dank.
Cat actually might secure this kill. I think they need a. Yep, they have dual. Yeah, he's dead.
That's so.
He'll get the bounty rune, I think, but he's still dead anyway. And that's first blood of the Lone Druid. So, and Skylark's taking a lot of damage too. That's a pretty great start, even though you did get the other bounty rune. That's pretty nice.
Yeah, that's a really, really good start. I mean, this is an aggro dual lane, and he's feeding first blood. And if this was a pub and I'm an off laner, I'd probably tell. I'd be like, all right, I don't think we're gonna win this lane. Let's just send the Nyx mid at that point. But of course, this isn't a pub. They have a very particular strategy that they want to run here. So.
I think the Shakiro is going to be a problem for both of the heroes. He's already gotten plenty of dual breaths, and that's going to be a big issue. I think the other lane, you have Riptide into Infernal Blade. You get like level 2 Infernal Blade against melee heroes especially. This game gets really hard because Doom is so good with that Infernal Blade max build that you were talking about now.
Yeah, and I mean, Slark has traditionally, I mean, he still is a weak laner. I mean, that's really where he's punished the most. Slark has always been a good hero if you get some levels on, get some items.
Yeah.
That's never been in question. It's just that he's really awful in the lane, and I think we'll probably see that in effect here.
He did go for the 3 mangoes that you were mentioning, the extra regen, which will keep him healthy. He is second in CS. In the meantime, the Tinker is first. Suppose not unexpectedly.
Yeah.
I think this PepeHands, they had a really good start in the last game. They had like a 2K lead early on into it, but now it's they're doing pretty well here. So
I like this Tinker build that people are doing with the March of the Machines. Like, they don't even go for the heat-seeking missile. They go laser like purely for the laning, and then they don't even try to go for kills or anything. It makes sense against DK because it's kind of a hard hero to kill. Actually, on the top lane, looks like Nyx Assassin is going to go down again.
He should be dead. He's regenning. He is a Nyx Assassin, but it's not enough. And that was a nice fate. Z-Red actually, I think he took it in Pale, and they just turned it around and realized they didn't have enough damage to get the kill.
It's just with like these sort of heroes against like a Lone Druid hero, you really want the balance to be in your favor in the lane, or it's going to just be so bad. I mean, obviously, you know, here we can see the Nyx. I mean, he's just walking back top. I'm kind of, I feel like, I mean, I guess there's not much, there's, I mean, you could go mid and deal with the Tinker a little bit if he gets some mana burn.
You could try it.
Nyx just kind of sucks at roaming. That's the only thing. Like, I feel like this is the only place for him just because Nyx is such a weak roamer.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have mana burn, so. But
Well,
Tinker's kind of destroying this middle lane. Well, he's not destroying, but you know, if a Tinker can get some decent early farm in this game, it just like nullifies the fact that they have a Nyx assassin.
Yeah, Boombox he's still level 1. It's not like bottom's going much better. Even if they send him bottom, I'm not sure what they can really do. The Slark is actually getting decent CS, but 2D's still contesting him. Level 2 now with Infernal Blade level 1. Yeah, I'm curious if the Jakiro is able to continue to zone him out. They could probably get some kills, but the Jakiro is actually pretty low, so he's gonna pull now. So maybe they could start harassing Cat. And it's not like Cat has the most CS either. He's only got 10 last hits, so in spite of those kills, he's not getting that much CS. But they might find Ajit bottom. The Ensnare comes out. They have no Infernal Blade for 5. He's gonna leap away. He's still dead anyway.
I was just about to say, I'm actually surprised how well this lane is going for the Slark. And then now Doom has the Unholy Aura too. He got lucky on the creep spawn. Like, that thing's so good.
It's so much regen.
He has a tango of regen basically right now. It's just permanent.
I think it's probably, I don't know if you would agree, but I think it's the best creep for in lane. Oh, that is a kill on the Z-Red. Boombox might die though. It's gonna be a trade, it looks like, with the bear. Skylark does get off the Drunken Haze, but it doesn't matter. Oh,
that's a huge double wave going into the Brewmaster though.
Yeah,
I think Nyx does. Okay, yeah, Nyx finally goes bottom because Brew's gonna get a huge wave here. Like, he's done his job, you know. Brew's gonna get a massive wave, and if he gets this, he can maybe at level 6. And obviously with the Brew split, you can turn around a lot of things. You can actually kill the Tinker too.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, the Tinker's going for just max March of the Machines. He's not even trying to be like a killer or anything. He's just going for the purely laning and farming build, and it's so much safer with maybe like a little bit less potential because, like, obviously if you get a bunch of kills, you can just, the game can look so easy with Tinker, but it's so much safer to go for this build.
Yeah.
You farm so fast.
He's going to get some decent farm. In the meantime, Ajit getting run at bottom. They got the kinetic field, but that's actually going to be Yol probably dying. They don't have enough mana for a Satyr, Tormentor, Shockwave. He does have a stick charge. I don't know if they even need it. Scorched Earth, pretty good. He does use like a Mango. I'm not sure. 2D gets back up all of his mana. I think he had a Mega that he used. He also is going to salve, too. They can turn this around. The Impale does come out.
They're just
Shockwave coming in. Ajit needs to run. And oh, he actually Dark Packed off the Infernal Blade. That's pretty good. But Boombox is still dead, so. Or he should be anyway. Is he not?
He can shockwave.
Oh, my God. Well, Riptide's a really good ability, I hear, so.
Yeah. You know, one thing that I didn't think about with this dual lane is, like, even Naga with 9 armor with Riptide minus armor, very efficient nuke in terms of how much it costs, for how much damage it does. And even Doom with Unholy Aura and 1000 HP, and Infernal Blade. Like, this is a pretty dank lane.
Yeah, I would say so. We've been doing a lot of aggro dual lanes in the pubs that we've been playing. Trent, me, Carlo, Andrew. And we're trying to find the best combination, and this might be one of them. The thing is, I've played Doom like 5 games, and I've noticed that, you know, I owned at the start of the game. I just cannot seem to finish the game on Doom. I don't know. There's either like a Lincoln Sphere that comes out, or they have heroes that are good against Doom, like Wraith King, and it's just like, it's kind of tricky. But
yeah, I mean, it's pretty tough. Well, I mean, I don't want to make Doom sound like it's some impossible hero or something like that, but it is like kind of a difficult thing to, like, your Doom is such a long cooldown, and you have to hit the right person with it in a fight, or you can just lose the fight. And if you lose the fight and they take a fight, your Doom's still on cooldown. It's like the game can just snowball out of control completely. Like, there's so many games I've lost because it's like I just run and I like Doom a Disruptor who got his abilities off because he's the only person I could get, and it's like, oh god, I literally just lost the game by pressing one ability.
They're gonna go for a kill top lane. They have the Elder Dragon form, good Savage Roar, but it's not enough to keep him alive, and they're gonna get that kill, and that's pretty big. Gabby rotated up at the perfect time. They initiated while he was TPing, and now they can turn this into a tower. Meanwhile, bottom, Yol Shockwave will miss, but the Scorched Earth is more than enough to get the kill with another auto attack from 2D. Ajit's going to pounce himself away to safety. He does have an Aquila. He's working on boots. So 1-for-1 trade across the map, but obviously more favorable for Clutch gamers, especially if they can get this tower.
Yeah, this tower will be pretty big because, like you said with the Shadow Blade, like if the Slark can get an early Shadow Blade in this game, which I mean, it doesn't look like his timing's going to be too bad. He's actually not doing as bad as I would think he'd be doing in a lane like this.
Yeah.
Okay, Brewer's getting gone on top.
This is a tough kill, but he's under the tower, and they have another TP coming in. He has a TP coming out of his backpack. Good stick charge, not going to matter. They didn't even finish the TP with whoever it was coming up there. It might have been the Naga or something, but doesn't end up happening. Actually, might have been the Tinker. I'm not sure, but...
Well, they defend the tower. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Because, like I was saying, this defends the Tinker's jungle, and if the Slark gets a Shadow Blade, if the Nyx gets his 6, it's a lot more comfortable that the Tinker can feel in his own jungle because he has his team to TP into those towers. So, yeah, that's pretty nice for the Tinker that the tower was defended.
Yeah.
Even though he was obviously nowhere near. That was actually great for him.
This is pretty good timing for the Tinker. He's almost up to bots. Then he builds into the Blink Dagger, and then at that point, if the Slark doesn't have a Shadow Blade, killing him is a much harder task.
Yeah, it's basically impossible. Like, Disruptor honestly doesn't do much against the Tinker. You can just glimpse him back to base. Nyx doesn't do much because he's a support. And, I mean, he can carapace, but it's not that big of a deal. And then the rest of the heroes don't do anything at all. So
Yeah.
it's an easy Tinker game.
They are going to try to find the Slark. Infernal Blade Shockwave does miss. Kinetic Field coming out. They even use the Shadow Dance from Ajit. Insidious is dead. Thunderstrike taking him down. He gets off a nice stick charge. Doesn't matter. The next runs in. Boombox, Shockwave. Not going to kill him. The Infernal Blade is now... the debuff is off of him, so he's fine, and he has decent regen anyway.
He was pump faking the Doom. He was going to go for it.
2D decides to back instead.
It's difficult against the Slark, though, because he can obviously just run into trees and then regen. Like, you have to keep vision of him, which is pretty easy to do, actually, now with the level 10 talent. The 16% Scorched Earth movement speed, actually a lot easier to kill Slark with the Doom ability.
Which talent do you like between the two? I know a lot of people really enjoy the heal damage, the damage and the heal, and it used to be the talent, but I don't know if it is anymore.
No, dude, I'm 100% sold on the Scorched Earth movement speed. Like, one of the drawbacks of this hero historically has been, like, you can doom somebody if they just have, like, Yule's Travels or something. They just run away from you, you know? And there's... It's like, you can't get that... If you hit somebody twice with Infernal Blade and they're doomed, they will die. I don't care who they are, they're gonna die.
Yeah.
They can have 20,000 HP, just how it works with the percentage HP stuff. And that 16% Scorched Earth movement speed, it literally puts you to hasted with phase. Like, it's insane. It's just crazy. If you get drums, too, like, you're so fast, so speedy.
Which he is.
You can
he actually
always
has
hit
his
somebody
drum.
twice.
So, yeah, you're right. I think it's going to be pretty good here, especially to catch a hero like a Slark or whoever, for that matter. They're going to try to deny the tower top. The Centaur Conqueror Stomp deny it. They didn't deny it. They wanted to go for the kill instead. They've got the Doom off. They wanted a Savage Roar. I think this is a better trade if they can find it. Even though they lose the tower, they're going to get the kill on the Skylark. Nobody's CPing up. He can't deny himself. He is dead one way or the other. He's going to take down. It's going to be Cat that actually secures the kill, I think, with the auto attack. Now down bottom, they're going to kill this Jakiro. Yeah, he's dead. He's mega dead.
So dead.
All right.
Sticking around a little too long in the bottom lane. I think they probably could have. I think he was trying to ward. Did he ward?
I think did he place this
have
one
wards?
right here?
Oh, he was doing some Tome of Knowledge stuff, and he could have. He was looking to place an observer, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, he did place a ward actually.
Yep.
So he's pretty okay with that. Secure this little area down here after taking the tower.
It might get dewarded. I'm not sure it will.
Probably will. They have a Slark. It'll eventually get dewarded.
Yeah, exactly. You forget about the Slark and the Shadow Dance, and it's so good. Just take all the wards off the map.
It's so much worse in pubs because people don't tell you, like, Slarks don't say anything when they see wards. Like, they know the wards.
Oh, this is a big kill. Fixer, Vendetta, level 6. Can they find it? They should be able to do Spike Carapace comes out, and the last auto attack from Boombox is there. And that is a great timing. He's not even close to his blink, really. Him dying there is significant. They don't even have to use split. They can use it mid now if they want to, and I think they're going to do just that. Skylark is running in. He's got the Drunken Haze. He's got the clap. They have a Breathe Fire. The glimpse comes in. Elder Dragon form has been used. This will turn into 2 and a Tier 1 tower along with it. That is a great minute for Clutch Gamers.
That is that's exactly how Nyx counters the Tinker until he gets the blink. Unfortunately, with the Soul Ring now, it costs so much HP that it's actually pretty... I mean, you walk around at 10% HP with Tinker, so that's kind of... That is the drawback playing against a Nyx. Like, you can't do what he did without a Sentry there. He's very, very greedy, but he's been uncontested until this point, so I can understand why he feels that way, you know? It's like, until this point, he has felt no pressure whatsoever, other than, you know, by the DK on his towers. But the DK, there's been no kill pressure on him up until that point, so... I can definitely understand. I like that the Dire are playing around this bottom area right now, too.
Yeah, they're trying to push the wave in more. There's no Tier 1 tower to take. Look at the Nyx again, though. Fixers is pretty... He does Soul Ring, and Boombox has to walk out of the march. He almost died to it. That's the one
Yeah,
issue. He's going to keep soul ringing. Boombox might go for this. Vendetta.
Dude,
the Impale. That's going to be another kill. So he dies twice in a row to the Nyx Assassin. And the rest of his team is not anywhere near him. They have no sentries there. That was pretty greedy. I understand you want to get as much from him as possible. And like you said, he was uncontested up until that last kill. But that's pretty rough because now you don't have your Tinker to defend. But Gabby does have a Shadow Blade. He might initiate. They have a sentry. They saw Gabby. They know that he's there. They thought about diving. Yol coming in as well, but he's got an Indus rune, and he's going to get spotted, and that is a dead Disruptor. They're like, why is there a sentry here? But you're playing against the Nyx and a Shadow Blade DK and a Slark. There's pretty good chance there's a sentry there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of those weird situations where you're like, oh, I get why it was there, but that's still bullshit.
Yeah, you're not expecting them to have it there at this point of the game.
I like what the Tinker's doing now. They're actually initiating the Nyx with the song.
He has Vendetta. They need detection unless they... No, they have Dust. Doom does come out on the back lines. I'm not sure on who. It was on the Brewmaster. That is a dive. Static Storm comes out. They will get the Ensnare onto the Brewmaster. So pretty tanky hero, though. I'm not sure that... And Cat's actually dead if he doesn't get the Savage Roar off, which he does. It's going to be a 3-for-1, I think. Cat's probably dead. They missed the Impale, but he's dead anyway to Yol with the Thunderstrike. So that was aggressive, and that's a really big fight for Clutch Gamers.
That was pretty aggressive. I was going to say the whole time I feel pretty comfortable with them being down in this area because, well, they have good vision, and then also they've like the Naga sleep to escape. But the moment he uses that, it's like, oh, that is risky.
Very dangerous. And now he might die too. Oh, he's actually going to live. Naga move speed, pretty insane.
Long. Yeah, and that's like so long.
So, yeah, that is exactly what I was thinking. They use the Naga sleep to initiate. They don't even find the kill on the Nyx Assassin they were going for. I don't think, anyway. Yeah. They get the Doom on the Brewmaster, but he's so tanky it takes a year and a half to kill him. And by that point, the Lone Druid has dove so deep that he just dies himself.
Yeah, that's a pretty big loss. And Nyx is just it's a hard kill. Like the Carapace, I mean, and you have that 0.1 seconds or whatever after song now. Wait a minute. I guess you had that before technically because he would cancel it. Anyway. It's pretty easy to just press Carapace. Like, you can actually press Carapace. Like, if you get OD in prison, you can actually press Carapace. Like, it's a very, very small cast time. You can basically cast it after anything. Yeah. It's like BKB. Like, if there's a frame where you can get it off and you're spamming it, you will get it off.
Yeah, the Nyx kind of baiting things out there. And, of course, because they lose that fight, the Shadow Blade is now up for the Slark. They have a 1k lead, which is not that big, but... They will find Ajit. They missed the Ice Path, though. He might actually live. Dual Breath, the Dust comes out. It does connect. They have an Ensnare. And, wow, I cannot believe that Dark Pact actually got the Ensnare off. It was like the last tick of the Dark Pact that got off the Ensnare. That's pretty insane.
I'd be so mad if I was in a pub against this Slark. That's like, that was bullshit. That wasn't... You know, because like right at the end of the animation.
There's no way he's supposed to survive there, I'm pretty sure.
Slark thing, yeah. It's hard for them to lock him down without Doom, though. Like, they don't really have much, to be honest.
Do you think they're going to go Shadow Blade on Doom? I almost think maybe a Blink might have been a better choice, but I guess Shadow Blade's not bad either. You move so fast.
I think with, like, there's a lot of stuff flying around in the team fight that maybe a Blink, like, he wouldn't be able to get on the right target. Like, he needs to get in, kind of assess the situation.
Oh, Jesus. That's not good.
That is not good. That's the combo. How close is Tinker to this Blink? Pretty close. He's very, very greedy with his positioning. He plays with kahunas. I gotta give him that.
Yeah.
Massive kahunas.
It's cojones, but that's all right.
Whatever, dude.
Kahunas.
That's how they pronounce it in Canada, man. You're just being racist.
That was funny. I'm sorry.
Whatever, man.
Massive kahunas. It's like a Hawaiian phrase.
He's got a big trundle.
I know what you were saying. Yes, he has a huge trundle. Very big trundle.
His trundle's got giant wheels on it.
We had that conversation the other day. It's very true.
Yeah. Let's not get into that. A lot of Shadow Blades on this team.
Yeah, speaking of which, Gabby uses his good song to counter-initiate. Maybe they can set something up here. They have the Tinker coming in. They have the Lone Druid. Doom is available. They want to use it onto Gabby, I think, more than likely. Savage Roar actually missed onto Yol. He's going to try to see if the Ice Path is there. Good job. They're going to get 2 kills out of this. 2D almost dying. He does get off the Infernal Blade. He actually sticks up and stays alive. That's a double kill for Cat. In the meantime, Skylark is trying to take a tier 2 tower in the top lane. And the Courier got sniped by the Nyx Assassin behind the tower, so that's rough. I don't know what was on it. Oh my god, that Ensnare range, are you kidding? Ice Path.
My god, he's so greedy.
And now you're dead. He has no vendetta. Spike Carapace keeps him alive for a bit.
This is
have another
space, though.
ensnare.
This is like hella space created. If I'm Nyx, I'm just like screaming space created over and over again to my team, and this is why I get kicked from teams. But that's what I would be doing.
It's a little too honest.
Whatever, man. I keep it real.
That's true. Yeah, it's
gonna keep it real.
It's a lot of space for sure, and that's pretty big for Clutch Gamers. But it was like a 5K lead up until that point. Now it's 3K. You know, they're getting back into it. The Lone Druid getting a lot of farm. He's almost at Radiance. The Tinker is now at his Blink Dagger, so this gets a little easier for this Dire team with those kills.
Yeah, you see, he's kind of doing this weird, like, right-clicking build, but also Radiance build thing. I mean, I guess with the Dominator, it's not super. I mean, just people will go Dominator with the Lone Druid right-click build, where they would have the hero right-clicking. Like, that's what people used to do. They would go Phase, Dominator, something like that. Dragonlance, but now it's kind of like you go for some of those items. He didn't even opt to pick up the phase boots this game, but still kind of going for that pseudo right click build, but then bear build. I don't know, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to see this. It
definitely, I like it a lot. I think Helm of the Dominator is such a good item anyway that you might just want to pick it up on heroes like this, and then you have the Radiance into it. So he's gonna be a problem in the late game. I mean, he's still like he's like 1,000 net worth behind the Slark. I don't really know that he cares considering how fast he'll farm with the Radiance. He'll be able to get back into the game, and unless the Slark continues to snowball, he's not going to keep up.
Pretty good against the Lone Druid though. Like if you can get on the hero, you can just munch on him.
Yeah, for sure.
Gain so many stats.
So the issue, I guess, for PepeHands is staying safe with the Tinker and with the Lone Druid, really with all their heroes, trying to take good fights. But they can lose towers pretty quickly against this DK too. They need to be careful.
Yeah, losing tier 1s with the Tinker is pretty rough. Like that's just what happens when you don't have the blink though. When you don't have the blink early, like you can't position in a way to defend those towers. But the longer you can keep tier 1 towers with the Tinker, like it gets so much exponentially harder with each item for the enemy team to get anything on the map. If you can keep those tier 1s up, like it's so much more than any other hero. You want to keep those tier 1s up.
Yep.
With the Tinker, but unfortunately they lost all of them before the Tinker was even online.
Yeah.
He kind of has fallen off a little bit. Looks like he was having a really good early game.
Are they gonna get this? They have a Doom. They do get it off onto Scalark. They're gonna get this kill more than likely. Gabby pops his BKB, which he just purchased. This is a dead Jakiro. A 1-for-1 trade that is still in favor of PepeHands, but if they lose 2D, it could be pretty bad. Song to counter initiate. That's actually the full Shadow Dance. That's really big.
Are they gonna?
They're gonna get Glimpse back. I don't know if they want to reinitiate. They don't have Doom still. Boombox is going to jump into the enemy March of the Machines. He's taking a lot of damage, and the Radiant Spear does start to burn him, but he doesn't actually die.
There's like a part, you could tell that they were thinking about, like, okay, dude, this could be really good, but this could also be really bad. Like, they were so unsure of that. I mean, I was too. But it looked like the Radiance, once that song wore off, like, it looked like the Radiance was actually ticking away a lot on the Radiant side team. Like, it was really hurting them. I think they actually could have re-engaged there. And actually, speaking of
re-engage, they're trying to re-engage now. They have the ensnare, no BKB up. This is a dead DK. The Glimpse does come back out onto Fixers, but he can just keep you right back in. Ice Path is there. The Jakiro coming to clean up. That's a pretty big kill. So they were able to find another kill, even though they didn't re-engage right after that fight. I think if they had their Jakiro, they probably re-engage harder, but they're going to have him now with an Ice Path. That's 2 kills. Boombox caught Vendetta.
I think this is like an insanely good timing for them, and I think they're obviously realizing that, bringing the Tinker mid, just doing the kind of 5-man March Tinker thing that you see.
Radiance plus the Tinker now starting to get his March up and going. I mean, this is a huge timing window for them. You're absolutely right. 5K lead now for Clutch Gamers though. So
even though there's a 5K lead, I still think that they're stronger, which it seems obvious. I mean, I was gonna say it with when the song was happening, but obviously it was a fight. But they're looking to fight actually.
They have Bruce Split. Cat does get off the Savage Roar. The clap comes in. The split comes out. And they need to be careful. Cat's in trouble. They've got the Static Storm. Can he get out of this? They've got the Macropyre. Cat's dead to Ajit. He got too much damage there. He has 6 stacks of the Essence Shift. He's looking for more onto 2D. The Pounce comes in. They've got the Glimpse out. Will not save him. It's a double kill with this Bruce Split. That's the timing that Clutch Gamers are looking for. The Bruce Split coming out. They can really abuse that once they have it, and they do it there. And they're going to find the Jakiro as well. He's going to get the Pounce at the perfect timing onto Z-Red. And that's a mega kill spree now for Ajit, keeping up his farm up to Shadowblade, Linken's Fury, now an extra 500 gold.
Damn, dude, I'm like falling victim to the same emotions that like these players are. So like, I think they also recognized that they felt really strong with that Radiance coming out, and just seeing it burn away at their HP and just how much damage it was doing at the current time in the game. And then they actually decide to push to the tier 2 without their Doom up, like without a lot of abilities. They didn't have Song, they didn't have Doom, and yet they look to push. And I was convinced that they could fight too, even without those abilities. But that's just like, that's just Dota, man. It just gives you like a roller coaster of emotions where you're like, oh, we can fight. Like they can't fight us. We have a Radiance timing. We have a Dominator. We have this. We have that. And then it's like, oh, wait a minute. We just fought without Doom. What are we doing?
And then you're fighting into Bruce Split too. I know they want to take advantage of the DK being dead, but a little too aggressive. You're absolutely right. The emotions probably got the better of them. This is a good timing window for Clutch Gamers. They have a 6K lead. They have a Gem of True Sight. Insidious is almost certainly dead. He does have Song. I'm not sure he's going to be able to get it off, though. He cannot. They do get the Doom onto at least Gabby. He's going to get the Lincoln Sphere put onto him aggressively, but he's actually dead, too. So it's a really good trade if they get this. Now Skylark looking for Cat. He's the one getting jumped on. Good Savage Roar. Ajit getting low. The Shadow Dance coming in. Cat trying to True Form it up, and he does. Ice Path just misses, and Ajit's able to get away. He's got Pounce back in 1 second. Skylark might be dead. No split for 18 seconds. They're going to turn back around and try to find Boombox in the backside of the fight. Cat just have his Radiance. Good. They get the Infernal Blade off and a big kill with victory.
I think they keep chasing.
They're going to try. Yol has been spotted with heat-seeking missiles, and of course they're still chasing with Tootie, but I don't think they can find anybody.
They don't have much catch aside from the Naga, really.
Man, that was a battle. I was really surprised that fight went the way that it did for PepeHands. They actually turned it around.
Once again, I mean, it was, we were talking about it. The Dire did it, and then the Radiant just did it. They fought without Bruce Split. Like,
yeah.
You fight without cooldowns, like, you're going to lose the fight. That's just... Well, I mean, not always. That's kind of the difficult thing about Dota, is that a lot of these, like, really, really insane teams, like Liquid, it just kind of looks like, oh, they're playing Dota, they're just fighting. But it's like, no, they're fighting without ability. They know what their limits are, you know what I mean? That's, like, the sort of... Whereas with, you know, teams that aren't literally TI winners, like, you can make that mistake where you feel those emotions, you're like, okay, we can fight, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, that was, you know, that was a mistake.
Yeah.
You know, so.
But they didn't lose that much for it. I mean, they lost, they did lose the DK, which is a pretty big loss. They got a kill out of it on the Naga Siren. Again, it's that emotion. You feel like there's no Naga Siren song we could fight, but it doesn't end up working out. So I think...
Yeah, fighting with the split, it's just so hard.
6K lead still for Clutch Gamers, but I think it's pretty close. I think it's closer than the 6K lead actually indicates, especially...
Oh, this Jakiro is so dead.
Yeah, they're going to try to counter-initiate, but Jakiro dies too quickly. The TP's come out a little too late. They should have Doom. No, it's down for 38 seconds. Without that, I don't think they want to engage. They might find Boombox, though. And snare us up, they don't use it. It's
ballsy for them to come to position down here. Okay,
I agree. Insidious is... They're going to get this kill on the Naga Siren again. And this time they have Bruce Split. There's still no Doom for PepeHands. I know they want to try to find a kill. They're fighting under their tier 2 tower, but that was a little too aggressive. So Fixer's going to do the only thing that he can and try to split push in this top lane.
Doom really needs to go grab something from the jungle that can break the Lincoln Sphere. Like, ideally net or purge. Probably the net, because then he can net the BKB DK. But look at the creeps. Like, there's no good creeps for him to take in the jungle. Just a rough life right now.
Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing good.
He's got a Satyr. There's a Satyr in that big camp, but that's not a safe area of the map right now. Like, it's actually really, really important on Doom to get that creep, because then he can cancel the Lincolns himself. So that could make or break the next fight, whether or not he gets that creep, to be honest.
Yep. And they're having a tough time getting out of the base anyway, let alone trying to get to the jungle. There's a lot of good vision for the Radiant now, and this is where you want to try to abuse, you know, these supports as the Slark. You have all this good vision in the jungle. You find this Jakiro or Naga, you can just kill him instantly. And you also have Boombox now, who's a Blink Dagger. He's got Vendetta. They pretty much, it feels like they have to move as 5 now for PepeHands. That's exactly what they're doing, too.
You know, I was actually going to mention that obviously the Slark is a big reason that they're afraid, but even though the Nyx has been kind of getting caught out and dying a lot, the Nyx is doing an amazing job at basically telling the enemy team, hey, I'm around. Like no matter where you think you're safe, I'm there. You know what I mean? Even if he's dying, he's showing that he's going to be in these like insane positions, so they're not really going to feel safe. Like they feel like he could be anywhere, you know, just because he's shown that he's not in like these predictable positions. Like he's willing to go behind. Like he's killed Tinker twice on his own.
Yeah.
You know, it's like they're gonna play so scared. Even if he's dying, they're gonna play so scared.
Yeah, he might die here. I don't think it's really that big of a concern if he does. Ice Path will hit. Oh yeah, he's mega dead. Good spike carapace too. But you're right though. I mean, this 6 assassin, it's space for the Slark bottom. It is making this Tinker a little bit more scared. And, you know, because he died earlier on into the game. They're not really concerned about the Nyx dying there. It's more space for Ajit, who is almost at his Scotty. Gabby has a AC just about done. He just needs a couple hundred gold to get the plate mail. I mean, it is going to be really hard to win a fight. And about 2 or 3 minutes if you're PepeHands. You might not have the damage to deal with these heroes.
Yeah, at a certain point, the net worth advantage just gets so high that your numbers literally don't outweigh their numbers. You know, even in like the best case scenario. And with the Scotty and the Assault Cuirass being picked up, those are some good numbers. Those are some pretty effective items in terms of how efficient they are for how much gold they cost.
Yeah.
You know, and then they also combo with each other. You get the armor on top of all that massive HP. Oh, the smoke. Oh my god. The instant break from the Slark.
That's pretty brutal. They drop 2 sentries for it too, and they don't get anything out of it.
That's actually another reason that the Slark and the Nyx playing like this is another way that they're affecting the enemy team is that they're making them feel that like they can't really do anything. It's like we can't smoke, we keep running into them, can't go out on our own and split push because then the Nyx will pick off the Tinker, or you know, like they just are feeling like their options are limited. Even though Slark didn't run in and kill all of them there, but he had an effect that was perhaps greater than that, you know, by doing that. And as I say that,
Split gets off. Nicely done. This is a pretty bad fight now. They get the comes back onto Insidious C. He cannot use that song. He's dead. It is time to run if you are this dire team, and they're going to lose Cat, it looks like, potentially. The Doom comes out. They might try to counter-initiate, but this is still dangerous. The Tinker's not here. The Kinetic Field comes out. The Bear is going to be Yules up into the air, or rather Cyclone. Sudi's trying to go into Boombox, who's getting a little bit low. The Ice Path comes in. They buy back in the Naga. They do have Song to counter-initiate if they want to. Boombox gets up a great spike Carapace that stops him from dying. The Dust comes in, they ensnare back out onto Ajit. And the Song, they're going to try to get these kills. Gabby's going to come in. His BKB was just used. It's about to go off, though.
I don't know about this.
Insidious C will fall. They buy back on the Lone Druid, but this is still not that great of a fight as Ajit is just going ham. They get a triple kill for Gabby. It's 13 stacks of Essence for the Slark, and that is 2 buybacks forced. And that was an amazing fight for Clutch Gamers.
Yeah, I mean, they just don't have. They didn't have anything to follow up with the song, really. It's like Jakiro. Was he alive for that?
I have no idea. I think he died. I think he was dead during the engagement. Well, it looks like he died at the end of it, considering how.
Regardless, it kind of seemed like he was setting that song up as if he had a meteor hammer or something like that to follow. But it was just kind of like, okay, this fight's gonna stop. And then it's gonna start again now, but they were losing it anyway, so it just kind of felt like a little bit of a pause button.
You know, that Tinker also came in like halfway through the fight, I think, and maybe they could have gotten at least a kill or two out of it had he been there earlier. It's tough to say. This
instantly got Carapace too.
They now have an. Oh, I thought there was an Axe coming out for the Disruptor. Jesus, that would have been crazy. He has a point booster at least, but that's another item you have to deal with now.
That would be an insane Axe timing.
Yeah. Not that good though, but you know what they really need is this permahex for fixers, and he's getting close. You know, they get that, maybe they can actually take fights and deal with the Slark or even the DK or whoever.
Yeah, that's one of those things. Like, if you have like a Shadow Fiend or Tinker, one of these like ridiculous late game heroes in terms of their cooldown reduction. Obviously, Tinker has no cooldowns. Picking up that hex, like no matter what situation you're in a game against anybody, you can win as long as you play well enough.
You might die. Ooh. I thought they were trying to go on him. In fact, they're going to try to turn this. They have it in snare. They have found the Disruptor. It's not the biggest target, but it's better than nothing. Gabby's trying to turn this around. They drop a sentry. Good mirror image. BKB gets popped by Gabby. They really want to take this fight. The Jakiro in trouble again. He's going to get clapped down, killed by the DK doing too much auto attack damage. The Lone Druid Bear is here. Insidious C getting a little bit lower. They do drop the marks. They want the Bear. Do they have a resummon? They do. So even if they lose it, it's not the end of the world. Gabby's already popped his BKB. He does have Aegis. They've got the Ensnare onto Ajit, but that's the Lincoln Sphere, and he gets off the Shadow Dance as well. They need to be careful. The Primal Split comes out from Skylark. They're going to try to take this fight. Z-Red will get tossed a boulder onto him, and now they're maybe going to back. I'm not sure. Gabby trying to come back in. Z-Red still taking a lot of damage. The Ensnare comes in. They've got the Impale. They've got the Cyclone on the Bear, but Gabby getting lower and lower. This is Aegis, but it doesn't have the Elder Dragon form anymore, and they're dealing with the Primal Split rulings as well. Gabby's going to get turned on. Dual Breath comes out. Ice Path is there. This is a dead DK. I don't think they can take the fight now for Clutch. They have to back up. That's actually really good, but they did have to buy back on the Jakiro, and of course they lose the tower as well. So could have been better for PepeHands.
It's like it's kills, but economically it's just awful. I mean, you can see that in the gold graph. Like all of these buybacks that they're having to expend just to have a chance in these fights, it's really, really hurting their net worth. And then it's going to make it so they need more buybacks in the future to take these fights.
Yeah.
I really, really think that this hex timing, this Tinker hex, like if they can do something like that with this hex, they can, you know, they can definitely still win this game. But I feel like it gets so much harder if they don't immediately find a couple of kills in a row with this Tinker hex.
They just used it too on Yule in the bottom lane, so they know that it's available.
Oh damn.
So that if there was a surprise timing, it's gone. Not that I think it would have mattered anyway.
Yeah, I mean it's like they would probably want to kill the
Jesus
Slark with
Christ.
the DK, but Slark has the that bear is dead.
Yeah.
It's a dead bear. That's another reason Slark is really great against the Lone Druid. Actually, you can just instantly purge the fear. I mean, it's so easy. You just press it at basically any point, and no matter when he fears, you'll purge it.
Yep.
And you can kind of do a skill thing, but it's pretty hard with the Lone Druid. Like normally the Slark is going to dispel it.
Yeah. I will say, Clutch Gamers, the Slark especially, has done a really good job this game, not dying, not getting caught out and getting killed. Because it's easy, because you think Slark is a pretty paper-thin hero until he gets Scotty. And he did die a few times earlier on into the game, but he's done a great job surviving now.
Although, to be fair, he does have, like, the Lincoln Sphere is really insane in this game.
Yeah.
Like, the only lockdown they have aside from, really the only lockdown that they have for not a Lincoln's is the Jakiro. Like they have the Jakiro stun, and like the Lone Druid Fear, I guess, is pretty good. But you can't like instantly cast either of those abilities on a Slark if you're going to pick a Slark off. Whereas like maybe with the Doom or the Net, you could kind of catch them. But with the Lincolns, I mean, it's just impossible.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right about the Jakiro. It feels like there's a lot on the weight of his shoulders. And the issue is he's dying in 90% of these fights because he's so squishy. He has no items. He has a Tranquil Boot and Wand. Who cares? He's dead instantly, pretty much.
Yeah, I was honestly kind of thinking maybe they're intentionally focusing him, knowing that he's like all of the team fight, all of like the AoE team fight. And like a lot of the time, like they're just using the solo static storm, like the Jakiro, the Naga, and it's working wonders because
Tinker might be dead. Tinker is mega dead.
Oh yeah! Oh my god.
Yeah.
That is not good.
Spike Carapace into Slark jumping on you is pretty rough. They're gonna try to take the
tier 2. He needs to buy back like instantly.
Yeah, he almost certainly will. They glimpse back the Jakiro. They're gonna be fighting 4 versus 5 if they do even buy back on the Tinker. That is rough. This tier 3, not long for this world. As this Elder Dragon form going to work? They've got the net onto Boombox, but this tier 3 is dead. Do they back up? No, they want to keep going, and I'm not surprised. They will maybe get this kill onto Boombox. They're going to get the laser, and now it's time to leave. That's the buyback onto the Tinker. Can they find anything else? Coming into the back lines, they drop the Sentry. They want Ajit. They got the Dual Breath. He actually makes it away from the Ice Path, though, and now they're going to turn their attention towards a different target, which was Yol, who actually TP'd to safety. He was up on the high ground. He was able to get out to safety. So that's the Tinker buyback. The DK has now picked up his Heart of Trask. They get the tier 3 tower. Economically, again, that's exactly what you were talking about. They're doing a lot of damage in terms of the gold department.
It's like the kills look even, but it's only even because they're expending buybacks in every single fight to get those kills. You know? So it's getting pretty rough. Like now all they need to do is kill the Tinker once and it's game.
Yeah.
That's it. Like it's pretty easy to win the game now. Like their win condition is just so simple. It's kill the Tinker. And that means that the Tinker is not going to be able to farm as well, he's being pretty greedy actually with this farming still, but it's gonna be difficult for him to farm quickly with that on his shoulders, knowing that, because he's gonna know that you can see that Skylark is in the top lane just like waiting for the Tinker for an opportunity, because if they kill him, it's just over. So he can't do any of the aggressive stuff that he's been doing.
It feels like he can't really go anywhere safely. And he's about to go top, and I think they're going to figure this out. He actually canceled the TP.
He cancels. Yeah, that's definitely the play.
I mean, and they were winning these. They were not winning these fights. They were getting kills for PepeHands because they actually could do a little bit of damage. Now the issue is that there's a heart on the DK. There's a BKB the Slark just purchased. And speaking of which, Skylark also just purchased a BKB. And I don't know how you do any damage. I mean, Tinker is a lot of your damage. The Raiding Spare is a lot of your damage. That's gone. So how do you win a fight now? I don't even think you can.
Basically, like, you need to catch Slark completely on his own, stomp him out of Shadow Blade, break the Lincolns with Halberd, run him down with Doom while Naga songs everybody else, and Tinker gets off 3 lasers and 3 heat-seeking missiles on the Slark while he's hexed and in vision.
Good luck.
Oh, he's got DD. Speaking of Slark.
He really wants to use this. I don't think he's going to, though. I don't think he'll be able to get anything done with it.
Is there a scarier hero to have a DD on than Slark?
I mean, as a support, you're just dead. Or really anybody, for that matter.
Because he just steals... It just doubles his essence shift.
Yep. It's
effectively,
not fun.
I mean...
Well, it's fun for the Slark, not for anybody else. But Cat has done really the only thing that he can at this point. He's trying to split push. The unfortunate thing is that they see his bear. There is a Tinker Ward. They're going to realize very quickly that there is, in fact, a Tinker Ward, but the bear will die, even with the Savage Roar.
He turned off the radiance.
Yeah, even if he turns it back on, it's dead anyway. This thing is taking forever to die. Actually, they gave
really
Boombox the... I think Ajit was like, give me that. He didn't get it, though, sadly.
Hey, man, more farm for the Knicks.
What does he even have? Blink? Spirit Vessel?
He's pretty
Force?
farmed. The Spirit Vessel's, like, insanely good in this game against... It negates the Doom's Scorched Earth, which is awesome, because that heals for a hell of a lot. And then, obviously, the Lone Druid has a huge HP pool, so draining him down is pretty effective.
Yeah. Yeah, the Doom has felt squishier than I think he usually would, given the circumstance. Well, again, there's just so much damage from Clutch Gamers
Yeah,
anyway.
he kind of can. I mean, he has 3 armor. Oh, that's a dead Jakiro. That's a sad boy.
Maybe not.
Maybe not.
Maybe not.
But that's a
There's
song
nobody
used.
here. The Pounce leash is actually forever. He's just dead anyway now. So Song comes out. Maybe they kill Boombox, but Ajit pops the BKB. Insidious is going to get Glimmered, but he's got a gem. Good force away. The Primal Split does come out, and they might just die to get these kills. Tootie's going to get glimpsed. He might be dead. That's a good Centaur Conqueror stomp, but the Impale will hit. He does have Doom. He needs to get it off. He also has a gem, too. He actually used the Halberd to break the Lincolns, but he dies anyway. He couldn't even get the Doom off, and that's the gem down.
That's so bad.
He does have buyback. If they really dive too far here, they could still win a fight, but I don't think they can. I mean, this is Rax probably. I don't know if there's anything they can do here.
Did they fort? They do not fort. I mean, worst case, Slark could... Oh, he has no BKB on Slark. No ulti on Slark. The DK does, though. He has a BKB, which is why he's positioning so far forward and Slark's playing.
I'm sure, like, Gabby just takes all the focus and Ajit just waits for his moment. In fact, they've got the glimpse out now. Insidious is dead. They'll buy back in the Doom. Too little too late to save the Naga Siren. I don't think it really matters. Wow, that was an aggressive TP from Tootie. And he is dead. So that's a dieback, and that's probably game. A little too aggressive of a TP from the Doom, but at this point, the game was essentially over 20 minutes ago at this point.
Yeah.
So.
Slark has rapier damage.
That's always great.
Yeah, it's such a sad game when you're like a feeding offlaner or support. And there's a Slark waiting outside your fountain with rapier damage. Oh no.
Yep. There's not much you can do there. He just walks in.
He took a little dip in the fountain to see if he could find Tinker skinny dipping in there, but Tinker was hiding in the corner.
So
he's in the shallow end.
Really just solid play from the entire Clutch Gamers team. They had a great team fight lineup. They had a Slark who got out of control. Similar to game 1, they just snowballed. Fixers is going to be dead. And with Tinker dead, that's it. They'll slong, but essentially the game is over. But yeah, I mean, the Tinker dying twice, I don't think is what lost them the game, but they just couldn't kill the Slark. He became out of control. They killed Gabby like 4 times earlier on into the game, and that was great, but they had no answer for the Slark. They actually really didn't have an answer for the Primal Split once the Brood got Blink Dagger, because he was never really getting doomed towards the like mid to end of the game. I mean, the Doom didn't do anything either, but I don't know. Yeah, that's a really tough game, I think, if you're PepeHands. This is just a good draft for Clutch Gamers.
Yeah, it's pretty rough to be a Doom against a Brewmaster when there's also like a Slark that you really want to Doom, and he was actually dooming the DK in a lot of these fights, presumably just because the DK was pretty huge, and it's like he was right in their face. He was going for it. He has a percentage damage, but check out there's a lot of Doom targets for him, and
yeah.
The other disables on his team really weren't capable of locking down either the Slark or the Brew before they just get the ulti out, before they get the, for either of them, the ulti. So really, it's like a lot was on this Doom shoulders, or they would need to shut one of these heroes down like in the early game. So yeah, like you said, it's a pretty good draft, but also I feel like they could have just had like a much more well executed early game, I guess, like with the Tinker dying and stuff like that. Like, I'm a pretty firm believer if you die more than like 3 or 4 times on Tinker, you probably lost the game. It's probably your fault.